how would you feel if you had to eat the exact same meal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day for the rest of your life? I'm Thomas from Popular Doodle, and today we're going to talk about one way to add a little more variety into your dog's meals with these dog food toppers. So my golden doodle Chewy has started getting bored of his regular dog food, and while I'm planning on transitioning him to a new type of dog food, I wanted something to bridge the gap to help me use up a lot of that old dog food that I still have a big bin of. So I've researched different dog food toppers, and I found there's roughly 4 categories of these. I kind of refer to them as wet, broth, seasonings, and treats. And so I found 5 of the most popular, highly rated dog food toppers on Amazon that covered all 4 of these different categories to kind of show you and test out and see which Chewy likes the best and which might be best for you. So let's get into it. So first up, we have this Fervor bone broth topper, and this falls under the bone broth category, but what's interesting and unique about it is it comes a little thicker in this almost like ketchup bottle packaging, which is really cool. Now there's a few ways you can serve this to your dog. You can just drizzle it on top like I show here. You can mix it in water and kind of create a more soupy broth type deal, or they actually say you can put it right in your dog's water bowl, but I didn't try that. I just drizzled it right on top. Next up, we have the Flavors Food Topper White Cheddar Recipe. Now this falls under the seasonings category, and you can see right down there, it pretty much just looks like Parmesan cheese. Now what's cool about this is there's very few ingredients. There's only white cheddar cheese, potato starch, and dehydrated sweet potato. So really cool, and it looks like Parmesan cheese. How can you go wrong? Next up is another seasoning food topper from Flavors. This is their peanut butter variety, and this one even only has 2 ingredients, the dehydrated sweet potato and roasted peanuts. Now I'll show you kind of how the bottle works here. You just have your sprinkle over there, or you can scoop it out over here. And with these seasonings, they do say you can have them 2 ways, where you can sprinkle them on top, or you can mix them in water for more of a brothy consistency, but with the seasoning packaging. Next up, we have the Paw Struck Air Dried Meal Topper. Now this is the chicken flavor, and this has a super strong scent to it. You can see it's in little, like almost little pieces of kibble right there. So this falls under what I would categorize as the treat category, where you're putting little, almost like training treats on top of your dog's regular dry food. So lastly, we have the Blue Buffalo Delectables, and these come in little pouches. The box contains both chicken and beef pouches, and you can see this falls under the wet food category. It does have a pretty strong odor to it. It doesn't look the most appetizing to me, but it does look the most like real food. So let's talk about results and what my dog liked the best. From what I could tell, his favorite was the Paw Struck Air Dried Meal Topper, so from the treats category. That's what he seems to like the scent of and eat the fastest, was this type. After that, my judgment of what his order was probably goes to the peanut butter seasoning, then the Fervor ketchup bone broth type dog food topper, and then finally the cheddar seasoning, and lastly the Blue Buffalo. But it's important to remember that he did eat all of these. He didn't turn down any of them. So it seems like overall, adding a little bit of flavor to his food, which he was turning down, no matter which brand or type it was, he did appreciate. So remember, all dogs are gonna be different and might enjoy different consistencies and stuff. I know as far as I'm concerned, my favorites were the seasoning type, these Flavors food toppers, because it's the easiest to just sprinkle right on the dog food and it smells the least. So those were pretty good. I also liked the Fervor broth. These ones were a little stinky in my opinion. However, Chewy liked them so much it's hard to say no to that. And then the Blue Buffalo, it's a little repulsive to me. And Chewy didn't like it enough to really validate me going through that, getting my hands dirty with every pouch and smelling that. So overall, the order is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But what I will say is if your dog is becoming a pickier eater and maybe turning down their dog food, the first step you should take is go talk to your veterinarian, because that could be a symptom of a health issue that you might want to have addressed. But assuming your dog has a clean bill of health, nothing's wrong there, it might be worth checking out one of these toppers to see if maybe you can add a little variety in your dog's meal. So overall, I would recommend these, especially this air-dried meal topper here, but go ahead and try them out. I think your dog will thank you for them.